אפשר סיפור.
סיפור ולישון.
סיפור ולישון.
בארץ יפהפייה, בעיירה קסומה, חיה לה נסיכה. בוקר אחד, הנסיכה התעוררה לה בתוך מבוך. ובדיוק כשהיא שאלה את עצמה, איך הגעתי לכאן? היא ראתה ארנב.
פרפר.
10 פרפרים. הנסיכה התחילה לעקוב אחרי הפרפרים, עד שנתקלה בתות אדום וגדול. הנסיכה לקחה ביס מהתות, ולפתע התחילה להרגיש מוזר. הנסיכה יצאה לטיול בגן הקסום. היא גילתה שיש בעיירה הקסומה אנשים קטנים ומאושרים, אגם סודי ויפהפה, ואפילו תיבת אוצרות קסומה. אחרי יום שלם של הרפתקאות, הנסיכה רצתה לישון. היא הסתכלה בשעון וראתה שכבר חצות.
מה? כל זה היה רק חלום?
לא מתוקה שלי, זה אמיתי לגמרי.
משהו ענק מתחיל ברמת השרון. רמת השרון החדשה, הפרויקט הנחשק של קנדה ישראל, באחת הערים המבוקשות בישראל. במיקום מושלם, סמוך לדרכי גישה מרכזיות ולרכבת הקלה, מוקם פרויקט רמת השרון החדשה, בתכנונו של אדריכל ומתכנן הערים אבנר ישר, שיעניק לכם את איכות החיים עליה חלמתם. עם שטחי מסחר ובילוי, בריכה, חדר כושר, שבילי אופניים ומרחבי פעילות ופנאי לכל המשפחה.
ויום אחד, כל זה יש שלך.
רמת השרון החדשה, משהו ענק, מתחיל. קנדה ישראל.
You know, when I was watching these commercials, it's really amazing because as you can see this is a commercial which was created in Israel. I think it's like a resort, or maybe it's not like an apartment, but also it's like a resort, which is cool. And they tend to use this Giantess character, and I like the behind the thought of like, hey, you know what? Let's create a Giantess character who is based on like, let's use some scenes, like let's recreate some scenes from Alice in Wonderland, which is actually amazing. I'm sorry, there's a kid making noises, it's crazy. So, I'm a big fan of this commercial, I don't know why. Because it's so cool. And I have to show you guys. And give me your opinions on what do you think. Because this commercial is really amazing, so I had to cover it so that you guys can get the glimpse of what I'm saying, because every stuff that is happening in this commercial is really amazing. And as you can see, the commercial itself, it tends to like show the different product, like, hey, you know what, we have a huge community of which like it's kind of like a resort of different hotels and stuff, like different buildings, like apartments or flats that tends to be located in a really good area so that people can enjoy, which is actually cool, and it's like mind-blowing. Some of the comments stuff, because I'm actually curious to see what do you think about this commercial, because to me I'm rated to 100 because it's really amazing, and I like the way they tend to use like the recreation of Alice in Wonderland. I may use that as an example, because as you can see, we have this character who's normal, and then she's going to transform into a Giantess character, and when she's going to transform into a Giantess character, she's going to, before becoming a giantess, she's going to go to this, like, I don't know what to say, but I don't know what is like, not a door, but it's like a place where she's going to transform into a giantess character, and after doing that, she's going to go outside and walk around, because as you can see, the area is full of like really good vegetation. It's like maize and stuff. Maize, do you know maize? It's maize, but it's maize of which is filled with vegetation, which is actually amazing. And then you can see they start showing different buildings, and also they start showing like pools and stuff, which is actually so cool. And as you can see, they tend to show one of the scenes which is kind of like cool, but is weird, especially if you are in that universe, like you are in the commercial. The way like the Giantess was like taking a bath inside the football stadium, that was actually crazy. But I like the way they shot it, it's really cool. And there's another scene where like the Giantess was walking in front and is surrounded by these gigantic, like not gigantic but tall buildings that tend to be like flats. And I like the idea of like the uniqueness of those apartments, because I can see every apartment has to have like this kind of like vegetation, which like tend to make environment like it tend to make like a really cool place where you can experience luxury but also be close with nature, because as you can see they tend to have different plants in different flats, which is actually amazing. I don't know, but to me it's really amazing, because sometimes you can see when it reaches at night the plant may produce oxygen, which is actually cool. So it means you're going to get a lot of oxygen in the middle of the night, so it's actually amazing. So that's a really cool idea. And I like the scene where like the last scene of this like commercial where like the Giantess character has to shrink down into a tiny size, which is actually really similar to Alice in Wonderland, because as you can see, Alice, especially in 2010s, Alice had to shrink down, and as you can see now, and all of that, I like the real idea, like, hey, you know what, let's make a Giantess commercial, but let's do it like a person who is actually a giantess who is actually shown in the commercial. Let's tend to make it like someone is dreaming like she's gigantic, because as you can see in the end of the scene of this commercial, we see a character who was like kind of like sleeping. So it means all of that is like imagination. And I started remembering like, hey, you know what, all of this imagination about becoming a giantess and then shrinking down, it's from only one movie, which is actually Alice in Wonderland.
סיפור ולישון.
סיפור ולישון.
Crazy imagination that made her to transport
בארץ יפהפייה, בעיירה קסומה, חיה לה נסיכה. בוקר אחד, הנסיכה התעוררה לה בתוך מבוך. ובדיוק כשהיא שאלה את עצמה, איך הגעתי לכאן? היא ראתה ארנב.
פרפר.
10 פרפרים. הנסיכה התחילה לעקוב אחרי הפרפרים, עד שנתקלה בתות אדום וגדול. הנסיכה לקחה ביס מהתות, ולפתע התחילה להרגיש מוזר. הנסיכה יצאה לטיול בגן הקסום.
So this was amazing, because the character was just imagining.
היא גילתה שיש בעיירה הקסומה אנשים קטנים ומאושרים, אגם סודי ויפהפה, ואפילו תיבת אוצרות קסומה. אחרי יום שלם של הרפתקאות, הנסיכה רצתה לישון. היא הסתכלה בשעון וראתה שכבר חצות.
מה? כל זה היה חלום?
לא מתוקה שלי, זה אמיתי לגמרי.
משהו ענק מתחיל ברמת השרון. רמת השרון החדשה, הפרויקט הנחשק של קנדה ישראל, באחת הערים המבוקשות בישראל. במיקום מושלם, סמוך לדרכי גישה מרכזיות ולרכבת הקלה, מוקם פרויקט רמת השרון החדשה, בתכנונו של אדריכל ומתכנן הערים, אבנר ישר, שיעניק לכם את איכות החיים עליה חלמתם. עם שטחי מסחר ובילוי, בריכה, חדר כושר, שבילי אופניים ומרחבי פעילות ופנאי לכל המשפחה.
ביום אחד, כל זה יהיה שלך.
רמת השרון החדשה, משהו ענק, מתחיל. קנדה ישראל.
Transformation, and then after becoming a giantess, she's going to walk around in the middle of the sea and walking around in that resort, which is actually cool. And I like the way it's the way it is like shot. It's actually cool. I like it because, as you can see, it's like really all I can say is the commercial had to spend a lot of money in terms of creating and bringing back to life this commercial, because every commercial was actually genius. So yeah, so this commercial is 10 out of 10, and it deserved 10 out of 10 or maybe 100, because everything was amazing. And as you can see, most of the videos that we cover in this YouTube channel are based on movies and films and animation. So just seeing another concept of Alice in Wonderland, in terms like in that idea of Alice in Wonderland being represented in a commercial, that tend to make that commercial be unique. Because how can you have a lot of ideas in creating different commercials? You need to rely on movies, because movies has different imagination, they have different characters, they have different story. So sometimes it's not actually hard in terms like taking some of the concepts that from movies and tend to use those concepts to promote your stuff. And to me, I think this is a really good idea of promoting. And they tend to use Giantess characters and tend to use little concept of different movies that has Giantess characters. And also, as you can see, we have Giantess transformation in this commercial, and also we get shrinking scene. What next do you want? Everything that you are expecting to see in this commercial, you are going to get it. So guys, tell me, do you love this commercial? Because to me, I like it. That's why I'm giving you this. I showed you, and tell me in the comments what you think. Please leave a like to this video, make sure you subscribe. And yes, I'm really happy because I come to find out this commercial and I watched this commercial without realizing it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give my own opinions and my thought, and I'm going to, just by watching these commercials, I tend to have like, hey, this kind of commercial is really cool, so let me show the people what they need. And I tend to come to see like, hey, it's similar to this movie, so I like the concept that they use in terms of creating this commercial. So that was actually an amazing idea. Tell me in the comments what you think. If you are really interested in the second channel, please go and subscribe there, because it's going to be so cool. So thank you very much.